Welcome to this week's video. We're going to start off this week with a little bit of bike maintenance. You saw us pick these up in last week's video, and now I'm going to give them a little bit of a tune-up. I really noticed, I believe, especially on Leah's bike, yeah, these brakes are really mushy. This one feels pretty good, but the rear brake is just not feeling great. And so I'm gonna do a quick little brake bleed on this bike and the black bike. And not all of the new parts have come in, but the grips were not lock-on grips on my bike, and they were also really loose. These grips are not lock-on bikes, but they seem to be staying in place, and they also have the ends on. The ends are missing from those, so I got myself a nice set of new ergon grips. And for Leah's bike, since she is pretty new to riding bikes, we got her just some flat pedals. I'll go on here, and maybe she can upgrade to clip-ons in the future if I end up liking them. Well, let's get right into it with the brake bleed on this thing. I've never done this before, so it's going to be a learning experience for me. So I just got one of these cheap little bleeding kits. It should have all the stuff I need in it. So the front brake feels great, the rear one's not. I imagine that's because it's a long cable run. I didn't get all the air stuff out of it, or maybe I even introduced some. Well, I'll come back to that, but for now I'm gonna take the easy wins, which is gonna be these grips. At least I thought it was gonna be easy. They were sliding right on and off the other day. And that's why lock-on grips are so great. So I did learn something from that video. That makes sense in hindsight. When you're bleeding, you want the tube to be going straight up so you can get all the air out of the caliper. So let me pull off the caliper here and see if I can get that going. That still feels mushy as heck. I don't know what to do here. It shouldn't get mushy. I am at my wit's end. Yeah, that's still terrible. I got nothing. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I don't know. And I watched videos. I think my nipple on the back is just leaking air through the threads, and I don't know how to deal with that. Nothing on the internet mentions that I've seen. Look at all the fluid that's on the floor. That all came around the threads on the nipple. And then, like I said, if fluid's getting out, then air could be getting in. God, I hate my workspace. Maybe that's what I need to do. I need to clean up in here first. Okay, I give up for today. I spent a long time on it and I didn't get anywhere. I guess I got some new grips on at least, so there is that. I need to clean up this room. I can't work like this. I think that's half of the reason I've been so frustrated today. I just can't. I cannot work like this. I also think I need a bike stand. You can't do this job on the floor like this. My knees hurt, maybe I'm getting old, this just sucks. I need a bike stand. I'm gonna see what I can find for affordable options. I'm gonna stop yapping and cut to me tidying up this room so I can actually have a nice workspace. All right, I'm back out here with a fresh mind. It's a cooler day. We're gonna get tidied up in here so I can work on my bikes. That's about it, let's get into it. There, now we have a bike workshop ready. I think these two things are gonna become my bike workshop table. This thing needs to go. It's my loft from college. I had a 300 square foot apartment that I lived in, and so this really made that space usable for all the crap that I have. I didn't have my drums in that space, but I had a lot of other stuff. I'm stoked on this space now. It was just being a waste earlier, and now it's actually really cool. I don't think there's much more to say. On to the next thing. You heard the one about the hoarder mountain climber? He was actually really good. He just didn't know how to let go. A slight mess might have occurred under here. Time to use an entire roll of paper towels. Beats using my shirt. My grandpa was very partial to working on cardboard undercars, and usually I find it unnecessary and kind of inconvenient. Today, I'm gonna make a very much needed exception. We have so many bolts to take out of this thing. None of the guides in this said that I need an entire roll of paper towels for the tools. That's an oversight. Now I've gotta not drop this stupid thing. Got the bolt. Got the valve body. Oh, what was that? Something fell. Something fell. Some sort of filter appears to have fallen. I don't know where that goes. Oh, jeez. So I don't know if you can see it from there, but this right here is the plug that I need to get out and replace. I thought it would just pop right out after that, but it isn't yet. Oh, hey! Hey, there we go. Yep, and that is chock full of transmission fluid. Return with our new part. Now the extraordinarily simple task of putting the valve body back on correctly. When I say extraordinarily simple, I mean that I have no idea where that filter goes or how this interfaces. To the YouTube! This is fascinating. That filter that fell into the pan there, this guy in this video just said that in the service manual, that's for initial assembly to catch debris. So when you take it apart for maintenance like this, you don't need to put it back. That's wild. But okay. I've just been sitting here mentally preparing myself. The thing I'm most concerned about is you see this little piece hanging down here? This has to be aligned with something on here. And I see what it needs to be aligned with, but I don't know how it needs to be aligned. The guy in the video did not do a very good job of showing that. Okay, yeah, that's definitely how that's supposed to go. Now that I have it up there, I see what he was saying. Now, I just have to do the painful process of putting in all the rest of these bolts. All right, I got my book down here because the torque sequence is in here and there's no way I'm gonna remember that between 25 bolts. This is gonna tell me what order to torque them in. All right, so 89 foot-pounds. That's not good. 89 pound inches. That makes a bit more sense. Things were going so well. Oh God, we got lucky. I got lucky. You can see right there, the threads are still sticking out. God, I'm dumb. Worst news, by the way, I'm out of new paper towels. Oh, it's coming. Well, I may not be smart, but at least I'm lucky. I'm gonna see if I can find one of those locally so I don't have to wait another week to get this thing put back together. I'll let you know what happens. Well, I couldn't find it anywhere locally, that bolt, and I want the exact part just in case. This is transmission wizardry. We don't want to be putting other bolts in there from like Ace Hardware or anything. So it's gonna come next week, which I really am not happy about. I wanted to have this thing put back together and running in this video. I believe the next thing I'm gonna do is work on my bikes. My bike stand's gonna be here tomorrow, and then I can enjoy the fruits of my money and time spent tidying in that sick workshop that I'm gonna have over there. All right, we just got back from a lengthy tandem ride. We've got our new table, and I set the bike stand right here. It just came while we were out on our tandem ride. I think we rode about 16 miles. So I don't know if I mentioned this earlier, but I did go for a park tools. It cost like, I think 3 or 4 times as much, but I am absolutely sure it'll last 3 or 4 times as long. And I am always one to advocate for buying good tools in the first place. If you can afford them, then buying crappy tools 3 or 4 times and being frustrated with them the whole time. So I need to get this thing set up, and then I think Leah was kind of hoping maybe to ride her bike to work tomorrow, so that'll be first on the agenda. Oh, there we go. First order of business is finishing the rear brake bleed. Front brake, the bleed went great. This brake feels awesome. I've never done hydraulic brakes before, but I do know how they're supposed to feel. I've ridden a bike with them. However, the rear brake here is still pretty freaking mushy, which means there's air somewhere. And we're gonna try and eradicate that. I just still am not happy with that, but I mean, it does stop the bike, so there is that. I might return to this in the future, but for now, I'm gonna call that okay. So I actually bought a 2-pack of these, and the tandem only had 1 cage on it, and this bike only had 1. and both bikes can accept 2, oddly enough. It sure seems like the tandem should be able to take 3 or 4, but I digress. All right, and that was slightly easier than bleeding the rear brake, just slightly. Oh, I forgot to put the pump on. All right, there we go, that isn't going anywhere. Pedals clear it just fine. Sweet. And speaking of pedals, the last step is to replace these clipless pedals with some normal pedals so Leah can get acquainted with her bike. These pedals are not coming off. I've done this before on other bikes without a bike stand or anything. What the hell? I would try using a wrench for this, but the wrench is too fat to go on this pedal. This is not something I expected to have an issue with. I've done this before. All right, so I've got my 1/2 inch impact adapted down to a 3/8 drive, adapted down to a 1/4 inch drive, adapted to a little bit that is a 6 mil. Holy smokes. Oh, shit, that's hot. All right, so this is smoking, and what we've done is strip my bit. All right, it's time to get rowdy. Found the 6 mil out of my cheap tool kit, and I'm gonna cut this off. All right, so I haven't just stripped my bit, I've also stripped the port. Well, there must be special wrenches for getting these off, and I guess I'm gonna have to order one, and Leah isn't gonna be riding this thing tomorrow, unfortunately. 1-day delivery, so that'll be here tomorrow. So I'm gonna throw some penetrant on this, and I'll get back to it tomorrow when that arrives. Well, unfortunately, my best penetrant isn't really much of a penetrant, it's just WD-40. I'm surprised I haven't gotten any like PB Blaster or something yet. Oh, freaking got it. Poor wrench. There's no way I was gonna get it without it.
After getting their pedals replaced, I still really was not happy with the brake feel, so I tried bleeding it a bit more and then took it on a test ride right after that. Well, to the surprise of no one, I got brake fluid, mineral oil on the pads. I think that means they're shot. I'm gonna look it up and see what I can do. They make brake bleeding look so easy online. So it seems that brake cleaner might do the trick, so we're gonna try and do that. You think it fixed it? Oh, this has been one of the most frustrating things I've ever done. Yeah, it kind of sounds like new pads for front and rear, because apparently I really messed up and got it on both of them. On that massive disappointment, I am not gonna touch the brakes on my bike. I am just simply gonna install the new parts that I got for it and get it ready to ride for myself. So since I'm not doing the brakes on this one, I think the only thing I really have to do is install some pedals, which should be less fun, but more successful, I think. Oh, we're in business. Well, I'll see you tomorrow when I come up here and try and get that pedal off. I've tilted it over on its side and I filled it up behind the pedal with WD-40. I'm just kind of hoping it seeps down in there and lubricates maybe. Beyond that, I've got nothing. Well, it looks like it's still full of WD-40, so not too much seeped through. Got shoes on because I read about a trick here where you put the wrench on it and then use your other foot on the other pedal to pedal down. Holy crap! To that stranger on the internet that left that comment, thank you so much. So this bike did come with this little pump right here, but it's not a very high quality one. And so I'm just gonna swap it out with this one right here that matches the same one that I put on Leah's bike. I am gonna bleed the brakes on this in the future because they are pretty mushy. I can pretty much pull this one, right through the handlebar, and same with the front one even. So they definitely need it, but My confidence is low on that right now. It is Tuesday, and usually my videos go through Sunday, so it took me 2 extra days to get these bikes up to rideable, except for Leah's, which has a bunch of mineral oil on the brakes, unfortunately. I just wanted to get some sort of wrap on at least installing these stupid pedals. And, well, fortunately we did do that. Next week, we are going to go camping. It's been too long. I don't know what kind of camping trip it is going to be yet. We haven't planned it at all. And then at some point in the future, you will see me bleed the brakes on these bikes, fix up the other 3 bikes and get those sold, as well as other modifications. And I do definitely want to go bike camping at some point, but I don't know when that's going to be yet. Well, I realized I couldn't very well put all that effort into putting on those pedals and then not even tell you if I like clip-ons or not. Not that my opinion matters, but I mean, it's just the proper conclusion. So I've got my fancy new shoes on, which are actually surprisingly comfortable considering they have a piece of metal in the bottom. And I am wearing my helmet because usually I'm a pretty good bicyclist, but I don't know if I'm gonna get stuck clipped in and not be able to get out and go over. I'm gonna try and clip into just one of them here while I'm stationary. Oh, I'm in. Okay. Oh, geez. I've been trying the whole ride to get my right foot clipped in, and of course it clips in when I freaking stop. Yeah, those aren't too bad. I'm definitely gonna keep them for a while. And I don't really have any trouble with dismounting. You just gotta remember to twist. I'm sure I'll forget at some point, but today was not that day, unfortunately, for this video. And with that, cut back to Joel with the outro. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed seeing me struggle with these pedals and mess up on the Crown Vic, then hit the like button if you wanna see me fix my mistake on the Crown Vic and finish tuning these things up, as well as get those 3 bikes sold, and hit the subscribe button. And if you have any tips or tricks that I could have used, but I can't now because I already completed the job, well then leave those down below in the comments. Thanks so much for watching. See you next week.